picking up the pieces of my sweet shattered dream. I wonder how the old folks are tonight. Her name was Anne, and I'll be damned if I recall her face. She left me not knowing what to do. Carefree highway.
Okay, it's Easter Friday at about, well, I don't know, midday, and I'm on my way again to Tewkesbury. But I'm on the edge of Malvern. I'm in a place called Little Malvern, which is where Elgar, the great composer, is buried. He was Catholic, so he's buried in quite a modest, small church, very well, a few hundred yards away from here. You can see the Cotswolds, and I'm going about halfway towards those, and I shall be in Tewkesbury. And I will let you know a little bit more about my journey later on. I've arrived down off the hill, which I guess I was at about 700 feet, and I'm now down to about 250. So this is the entrance to a very large common, which is owned by the Melvin Hills conservators, and it's got a lot of wildlife in it which is protected, including some cattle that I will show you. These are belted galloways mixed with some I think some Aberdeen Angus, and the belted galloways are used to keep the sort of keep the common down and keep parts of the hills down, and they graze them all year round. And I'm told that belted galloways, which have got a sort of white belt around their tummy, are a cross between a Dutch white cattle and the Aberdeen Angus. So I don't know whether that's absolutely true or not, but it could be. Come across the common onto the main road, which I won't be on for very long, and it's called Castlemorton, and it's 600 or 700 acres of common, and leading up to what you can see in front of you, which is the Malvern Hills themselves. And they look pretty jolly good on a day like this. A lot of people out cycling and recreating, having picnics, and you of course can cycle up onto the hills where there are one or two pubs. It's a bit of a climb, but so that's the common, and now I'll carry on my journey. Now I've come into the village of Castlemorton, and I'm just pulling to the side of the road to show you this amazing timbered, must be medieval house. I'm about 7 miles into my journey. I'm averaging 8-9 miles an hour, and here is a really beautiful sort of timbered barn with a crook end and stabling for horses and a guard dog. Beautiful stone wall and spring trees. Now here we are at Tewkesbury, where there's a very good pub called the Farmer's Arms, which I'm hoping you'll see. Yes, there's the sign. It must be a medieval building. The garden is full of people drinking. Oh, well, I say drinking, I mean enjoying themselves. As you can see, with the beautiful plants. Stopped in this village called Bushley Green, which is unbelievably pretty. Cricket pitch, the whole works. And then I came across this view, which is of the Cotswolds across the western edge of the Severn Valley, and I think you can just see Tewkesbury Abbey in the background, certainly in the ground anyway. And as I go round, you can see the Cotswolds, or the edge of the Cotswolds. The road I'm on, 3 miles or so from Tewkesbury, and an Italian cafe. And there we go. It's a fantastic day. Hey, I've arrived at the River Severn on rather a circuitous route because I missed a road and I've come quite a long way round. But it's very beautiful down here in the Severn Valley. This is the longest river in Britain. I believe the Thames is the longest river in England, but I'd have to check that. So you can probably just see the Maldens in the background. Done about 16 miles so far. And as I say, I did go out of my way slightly. Now these are, I had to stop because these are just too attractive. These beautiful, what I think are Aberdeen Angus, only about a mile from the bridge. But these are the cattle that are crossed, or I think in medieval times were crossed in order to get those belted galloways. Well, I've arrived in the medieval market town of Tewkesbury. I'm right here in the grounds of the Abbey. I came rather a long way, so I'm going to go and have a coffee in a minute. But this is the west door of the Abbey, and it's got quite a history. I can't tell you all of it, but there was a battle here in the 15th century, the Wars of the Roses. The opposing side that was going to be defeated went into the Abbey for sanctuary, but they were dragged out and chopped up. But I can't remember, the exact details of each side, but it was known as the Cousins' War. Mainly the Plantagenets versus the Plantagenets, I believe. But anyway, that's the Abbey. It's very pretty inside, and I'm going to go and have a coffee. Bye. Finally, I'm just giving you a good view of the Abbey on the north side, with the tower that can be seen for many miles around. It's a pretty spectacular sight.
Carefree highway, you've seen better days, the morning after blues, from my head down to my shoes. Carefree highway, let me slip away on you.